Hello everybody, please bear with me. This is the first time I've done anything like this, period. You're looking at 4 women. The third lady on the right, Catherine Grosvenor, has been located. The other 3 are still missing. I believe I've joined the dots, and the gentlemen you see now before you in these photos are the actual perpetrators of these 4 crimes against these 4 ladies. I'll get into the specifics later with police or anyone else that wants to get on board and investigate it further, but someone associated with mine dropped Gordana's case on my lap 6 months ago, and I decided to dive into it, and it led me to Janine Vaughan's case, and to Catherine, and ultimately to Nima May, a young lady that was missing at Batlow Easter weekend 2002. So anyway, these 2 guys here are the description witnesses gave that snatched this lady from the street one Thursday night while she was out shopping, apparently for an outfit because she had tickets for an upcoming concert, Boyz II Men. Hasn't been seen since. In between this lady and December the 7th, 2001, when Janine Vaughan was taken, other incidents have occurred where these 2 gentlemen' descriptions have popped up, but I don't want to get into that right now. The red car in question that took Janine on December the 7th was a red Holden hatchback. It was owned by a local gentleman who's still alive and possibly the only living witness now that can answer at least some questions that the police will want to know. So after December 2001, nobody hears or sees anything until March the 3rd in Canberra 2002, where 2 guys fitting these guys' descriptions turn up in a black shiny car, old Holden with long sides, and a small red faded beat up type hatchback type of car. I believe the hatchback was driven by Garth Gremmel, and the black shiny car with long sides, which is this hers, was driven by Jason, his friend. The 2 met in 1994 at Orange fruit picking and continued association right up until Jason's death in 2002, which I'll get to in a minute. Following the 3rd of March 2002, Catherine's body surfaced 5 days later when a canoeist who was canoeing, obviously 9 o'clock in the morning, one morning, spotted the body and notified police. She'd been weighed down with concrete or concrete bollards, which witnesses saw the 2 gentlemen in question take that day and put into their vehicle. That's been confirmed. Most of this is public information, by the way. It's just a matter of putting it together. So they move on to Batlow. They arrive at Batlow a week before Easter weekend, apparently, possibly a little bit longer. But the 2 gentlemen arrive in 1 car only, and that's the black hearse. The red car is now gone. So whatever happened after Catherine's disappearance and when they arrive at Batlow, the red car has been discarded, sold, crushed. We don't know yet. That's something the police can find out. The gentleman that owned the red car was a local resident. He no longer lives in Australia. He left the country, but he is alive today. Again, I can't go into the specifics, but I will with police should they latch on to what I'm showing you tonight. Fast forward to Easter weekend. As we all know, Nima went missing. The last person to see Nima was Jason, who gave Nima a lift to drop her off, apparently, and she was going to hitchhike to save money for a bus ticket she already had, by the way, to get back to her parents, or something to that effect. Garth was waiting back at the campsite, and when the black hearse arrived approximately 5 hours later, which was, I think, was a 3-hour round trip, so there's 2 hours he can't account for, he arrived back on his own. So he was the last named person to see Nima. So fast forward to October 2002, Jason is in Queensland, flies to Queensland. He's got 15 hours to spare. What does he do? sees the girl, follows her, comments about her breasts and her backside and various other things. She eventually avoids him and thinks he has gone. She gets to her unit, but unbeknown to her, Jason's located the block of units and starts door knocking. Where is this particular lady? Where does she live? A gentleman actually tells Jason where she is. He goes in, punches her, tries to stuff her mouth with something, assaults her, then rapes her. The gentleman who gave Jason the location of where the lady lived, he intervenes through all the noise and commotion. Jason flees, he runs out the front. Lo and behold, there's a police car going by and he's arrested by Officer Mackenzie, Queensland Police. Taken to Roma Street apparently, where he's handcuffed, processed, and sometime that afternoon he's taken out of his handcuffs. Apparently he's cooperative and whatnot, and they go up, or they are on the third floor, and they go to the police vehicle to retrieve some belongings that belong to Jason. He sees an opportunity, he runs, jumps off the third floor and lands on Roma Street, right in front of police headquarters. Multiple fractures to the head, died instantly. There's nothing they could do for him. Autopsy found barbiturates, traces of meth, traces of cannabis, various other things. He was a full-blown live criminal, vicious, and I believe Garth and Jason are connected to the 4 women you see in front of you. And on top of that, I've had a lady reach out that was chased and just about attacked by Garth one night in the back of a hotel. Apparently he owned a panel van. She's reached out to me, he gave me some details, doesn't want her name mentioned, which I promised I wouldn't, but I've got that in the diary as well. And there's several other incidents pertaining to these 2 guys in between 95 and 2002 when Jason jumps to his death. Why he was handcuffed, I don't know, but he's just been caught for rape. So I thought I'd get this out there this evening. Hopefully someone might see this and see the value of it and connect the dots. I hope I've been delicate enough for the missing person's family members, but I believe these 2 guys can answer many questions. Unfortunately, they're both deceased now, but police have records to documents, receipts, banking statements, Centrelink statements, petrol receipts from service stations, all sorts of avenues they can pursue to narrow the window down to where these guys were in which particular area and for how long before they left and travelled to the next town. And field dockets might possibly show that if they had cards and used actually cards but not cash. So again, that's all up for the police, but I'll leave that with you. I've reached out to the Vaughan family 6 months ago and they gave me their consent to see what I can find and dig up, just in general conversations or discreet inquiries. And yeah, so it all started off with Gordana from 1995, and here I am today. Yeah, we found the owner of the red car. Most of these guys, or actually all these guys, were from Victoria, come into New South Wales fruit picking season, did their business, left, got rid of the cars, come back with new cars each year. Just cheap cars, but nonetheless hard to track, and it was probably a good tool for them to use given what they were doing. And one more thing rather I want to mention. I apologise, I'm a bit stuttering at the moment. The lady that was approached before Janine, 700 metres and about 10 minutes prior to Janine going missing, noticed the car had running number plates. All we can assume is that they were painted over. It was raining that night. They used watercolours to hide the identification of the plates, and the witness saw the running plates. I don't know, that's what she stated. She was there, she saw it. I'm just reiterating what she said. So with all that, I bid you all good night. I hope you find it interesting, and I hope someone gets in touch with me. It's not like I haven't tried. I've reached out to 7 different agencies, government, media, various other places, and I've had one phone call and nothing else. It's like no one's interested, or they don't believe it, or they just don't care. But there it is. Anything the police want, I'll hand over to them, obviously, and answer any questions should they see any value in any of this. But until it's followed, and gone through 100% a proper investigation into it, unlike what took place in 2001 with Janine Vaughan's case, which I won't go into. That can't happen today if someone goes into this. It's got to be done properly, it's got to be done with seasoned detectives, and it's got to be transparent. So with that, I bid you all good night, and thanks very much.